Hey, hey, welcome back. This is a standalone podcast that doesn't sit in the Living Tree series or a specific tea table confessional. But on this holiday weekend, I was talking to a friend about a recent specific heartbreak, and I got inspired to write. So if you have a moment and a quick space to sit with headphones or whatever you'd like to listen to, hopefully you're not listening to the AI version of this, a window to look out, whatever your landscape is, let's take a deep breath together. Put the kettle on and let's steep something together while we settle in. Hi, I'm Bridget, the writer and voice and slightly over-caffeinated human behind the Gilded Leaf. For those that don't know me, I'm a leaf lover, a tea drinker, gardener, tea enthusiast. And if you're new here, well, welcome in. If you've been steeping with me a while now, well, welcome back to the table. Tea, to me, has always been more than a drink. It's a doorway, a hug in a mug, the ritual of boiling water, watching the leaves unfurl, and pausing long enough to give myself time enough to bloom. The milk and honey for whatever kind of day I'm having. And for those of you that have been here from the first podcast, Ashe, and you'll know that this whole show is a bit of a passion project, a place where herbs meet the emotional terrain, the human condition, and where the plant world holds up a mirror to what moves the heart and soothes the soul. And this is what the Gilded Leaf is, a place to slow down and give yourself a hug. And that hug is in a mug. So pull up a chair, get closer. Hopefully on this beautiful Friday evening on the porch, listening to the circadians, low melodic sounds with the slight summer breeze, you have a slightly warm cup in your hands. I want you to picture something with me before we start talking. And picture the sky right at sunset, the hour when the gold starts bleeding into everything, my favorite hour. When the light gets so soft and low, it looks like it's dancing across the clouds instead of just sitting there. That's the kind of light I want us to talk about in tonight's session. Not harsh, not clinical, just warm enough to see each other clearly. Let your tea go a little cool while we talk. It's hot out. It's the beginning of July. The way we do when it's just us, you, me, whomever else is at the table tonight. I might have to put a fan up because I'm sweating on top of my head. But I want to talk to you about love, the underbelly of love, the thing that's harder to talk about, self-worth, my favorite topic. Before I get into these 7 wisdoms of the human condition, I want to preface that wherever you are in this journey, there are the wisdoms that I have learned, which may not apply, and that's all right. But for the younger spirits that might be listening, that might not have a reference point, take this softly and refer back when you need to. It's here. The table is always here. Here's the thing. You can love someone with your whole heart and still be loving who you imagine they can become, not who they actually are right now. It's like standing outside at 5 a.m. waiting on a sunrise that hasn't decided to come yet. You can love that horizon all you want, but if the sun isn't ready, no amount of your waiting will pull it up early. Love the person that's in front of you, not the potential. If they change, let that be a surprise, not a project. The second lesson that I've learned is that loving you and being a good partner to you are two different skills. Someone can genuinely love you and still not know how to show up for you day to day. Learn that difference early. It will save you a lot of confusion later. Also, pay attention to when someone tries harder. If the effort only shows up after you've pulled away or after something is about to be lost, that's not the same as real change. Real change happens on a normal Tuesday, let's say, with nothing on the line. Here's another one that I've learned. If you're the one holding everything together, and this is a general pattern of myself, right? The schedule maker, the moods, the fixing. Ask yourself honestly if you're being loved or just being useful. Those are not the same things, even when they look similar from the outside. Good intentions don't erase a pattern. Someone can genuinely mean well and still keep hurting you in the same spot. If the "I didn't mean to" keeps happening, at some point it stops being an accident and starts being information. If you find yourself explaining the same hurt more than once and nothing changes, it might not be a misunderstanding. Sometimes the other person simply isn't able to meet you there yet. That's not something you can talk someone into. People don't give you what you deserve. They give you who they are. That part, I like it. And also, I think I've learned that if calm ever feels strange to you, almost boring, give it time before you decide something's missing. If you grew up around a lot of ups and downs, real peace can feel unfamiliar at first, like the stillness right after sunset, when the color's gone and it just looks like nothing's happening anymore. But something is happening. The sky's just resting before it does it all again tomorrow. That unfamiliar feeling isn't proof it's wrong. But here's the thing underneath all seven of those. And if you remember nothing else from tonight, remember this one. Every pattern we just walked through in ourselves or in someone we've loved traces back to the same root. The way we treat ourselves teaches other people how to treat us, not because we deserve less, because we show people without ever meaning to exactly how much room we'll make for someone else's version of love based on how much room we've made for our own. The way we love ourselves, my beloveds, is the way we teach the world to love us back. I've been sitting with a book lately. I want to shout out to Dorian, who sent me this amazing book called Jambalaya. One of the teachings from it keeps finding its way back to me. In the Yoruba tradition, there's an orisha named Oshun. She governs love, beauty, sweetness, and the rivers, always moving, never standing still. And one of the oldest teachings around her is this. I love it. You cannot pour love from a river that's run dry. Oshun doesn't ask you to give until there's nothing left. She asks you to stay full, sweet, flowing, alive, so that whatever you give to someone else comes from abundance and not from scarcity. Beautiful. That's self-worth, just in a different language than the one we usually use for it. It isn't selfish to stay full. That's self-focused. It's the only way the river keeps giving without running out. How beautiful is that? This isn't about finding the red flags in someone else. Though we did some of that tonight, it's about a quieter work. Noticing where you've learned to accept less, where you've learned to shrink, where you've learned that love had to be earned instead of simply received. That noticing is not blame. It's just a doorway. Once you can see the patterns clearly, you get to choose differently. Not because you're finally worthy. You always were. But because you can finally see it. Now I want to speak to a few of you directly because I think that you're listening and are at the table tonight. To the one whose heart just broke. I know it hurts right now more than you have words for. This doesn't mean you're broken or that you did something wrong by loving someone who couldn't stay. You're allowed to grieve this fully without rushing yourself. You will be able to love again. This isn't the end of that, because the table is right here. To my friend who keeps choosing the same kind of partner, I love you enough to say this plainly. You keep picking people who feel familiar and calling it chemistry. But familiar isn't the same as good for you. Sometimes familiar just means it looks like what you already know, even when what you already know hurt. You're allowed to choose someone unfamiliar this time. Unfamiliar might just mean healthy. To the man carrying old insecurities into love, if you grew up unsure whether love would stay, it makes sense that you test people now, or pull back first, or need constant reassurance. That reaction isn't a character flaw. It's an old wound still talking. But the person loving you now isn't responsible for healing what happened before them. That's your job. That healing is still yours to do, even while you're being loved well. And to the one who says yes when you mean no, and then feels angry later, that anger isn't really about the person who asked. You're the one who said yes. It's about the boundary that you didn't set. Try saying, "Let me think about it for a minute," and get back to you instead of an automatic yes. No one can respect a limit you never actually gave them. And last, you're allowed to want more than just getting through it, more than being tolerated on your good days. You're allowed to want real ease, real partnership, a love that doesn't cost you yourself to keep. That's not asking for too much. That's just being honest about what you need. None of this is meant to make you feel guarded or done with love. It's meant to help you, as an atlas does, to see clearer sooner instead of spending years confused inside the same situation. Sometimes the real shift isn't realizing someone was never going to change. It's realizing you don't have to keep shrinking just because someone else isn't ready to grow. And it's realizing that the love you're willing to accept always starts with the love you are willing to give yourself first. So, today's herb is Schisandra, or in TCM and Chinese medicine, Wei Zi, which translates to 5 flavor berry. One small berry, deep red, the last minute of sunset before the color gives way to dusk, and sometimes it carries all 5 flavors at once: sour, bittersweet, pungent, and salty, all held inside the same tiny fruit. It's an amazing herb. Let's get into it. In TCM, or traditional Chinese medicine, Schisandra is prized as an adaptogen. It steadies the nervous system, my favorite, under stress. It's astringent, meaning it helps the body hold on to what it needs: fluid, energy, a sense of self, instead of leaking out everywhere under pressure. It's associated with the kidneys, which in this medicine holds our deepest reserves, and with the lungs, which governs boundaries between what is ours and what is the outside world. I think that's exactly what stepping into the world asks of a young person: not to pick one flavor of life and reject the rest. No, no, not to be only sweet or only strong or only soft, masculine or only feminine, but to be able to hold sour and sweet in the same breath, to feel everything a full life offers. Ashe, my daughter, and still stay rooted enough that none of it sweeps you away from yourself. One berry, 5 flavors, still whole. Taste-wise, Schisandra is sharp and a little startling at first. Sour up front with something deeper and almost smoky underneath. Yeah. The way the sky goes from gold to something dimmer and more mysterious the longer you watch it. It's not a berry you forget, for sure. Steeped alone, it's intense, so I wouldn't recommend that. But blended with something like goji berries or, of course, my favorite, a little honey, softens it into something almost medicinal in the best of way. All right. Let the tea finish going a little colder. Let's stretch our legs a minute before we let each other go. Look outside if you can, wherever you are. The sky's probably doing something right now, gold or pink or that deep bruised blue that comes right before dark. It's always doing something. We just don't always stop to watch it. So, Ashe, thank you for being here tonight. Really, out of everywhere you could have spent this little 45 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever this podcast is, you sat at this table with us, and that matters more than you know. If anything that I said tonight touched something in you, pass it on. Find a young heart in your life who's still learning all of this the hard way, and hand it to them gently, the way the sky hands off its light at dusk. Not all at once, not with a spotlight, just a slow, quiet passing of gold from one hour into the next, just as something to hold on to for later, the way an auntie slips you a little something on your way out the door. That's how this whole community gets built, not by shouting from the rooftop, but table to table, auntie to niece, friend to friend, mother to daughter, one small gold thread at a time. So if this is your first time sitting with me, subscribe and come back. It's free. bring someone with you next time the kettle is on. There's always room for one more chair, the way there's always room for one more person to catch the same sunrise. This is Bridget, signing off with a hug and a mug, steeped in intention and offered with care. Ashe.